What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building with another banger. Now, first things first, before we go ahead and get started today, as always, I gotta go ahead and say thank God for another day and another opportunity. Now, man, as y'all can see from the looks of the title in the screen, yes, as you can see, this is the absolute best center that you're going to be finding in NBA 2K24 this year. Now, the reason of this video today is because I want your info on what you think this channel should be looking like moving forward. Now, I really mean that, y'all. I'm taking it very seriously, uploading every single day, and I just want to know what kind of content do y'all want to see. Now, if you like seeing gameplay of me posting up people 24/7, dunking on them, doing everything as far as the inside, just go ahead and let me know with the comment. If you want to go ahead and see me dribble a little bit more, maybe even play some lockdown defense, it's really up to y'all. I'll go ahead and bring it to you, but I most definitely know that as far as for the content that I do enjoy bringing the most, it's definitely going to be playing against other people. Now look, for everybody who is still watching, if you have not done so already and you're not a part of the family, if it's your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the rich family, and last but definitely not least, comment down TG for thank God King Jesus and where you're tuning in from, and I most definitely will be sure to get back to y'all with the response. Now, as for this build, you can definitely see my center is not like any other center build that you're going to be seeing. I made mine perfect, and I really mean that, y'all. As far as for this build today, you're going to be able to bring everything to the floor for the offense and defensive end. Now, the shooting, you're definitely going to be able to spark from deep with at least a 70 this year. I mean, it has already been confirmed from a lot of different players, but as far as for what I have experienced on this build that you're seeing on the screen, you're going to be able to do everything, and I really mean that. So as far as for our driving dunk on this build, I wanted to make it to where I was able to at least to be able to get that posterizer badge. For the post scoring and the inside, my standing dunk is pretty much maxed out to a 99. If you take into consideration boost and takeover being equipped, that's definitely something that I look forward to for all of my builds. Now we're able to get contact dunks, man, the elite ones, so this is definitely going to put this build above a lot of centers. Now, like I said, the shooting really does go hand in hand with this one. And if you want to even take into consideration the dribbling, I mean, y'all can see just how well that I am moving. I'm not stumbling the ball, and I'm not doing anything that does not need to be done. Now, I really do like the post scoring animations this year. I'm looking forward to learn a lot more and adding more to my own game. But as far as for this build being a rec one, you can even take it into the 5s, 3s, 1. We have a 75 pass accuracy, but with boost, we're going to be able to get at least into the 80s range. Now, regardless of your ball handle rating this year, I think if you're using the animations that I have on, and if you want those, drop a comment down below, and I most definitely will be sure to show everything of this build and how I move. But as for the defensive end today, this build is pretty balanced all around. Now we're going to be able to get at least an 80+ interior defense. The perimeter will be in the 70s, which will allow us to be able to pretty much switch onto any position 1 through the 5. Now for the steal on this build, I was actually able, and still can, force a lot of turnovers no matter what kind of player that I'm going up against. Now we're going to be able to get a 100+ block, and the same can be said for our defensive rebound. Now my physicals, this is definitely something that I wanted to be sure that I was looking at for this build. So we're pretty much going to be able to get at least a 96 strength today. As for the vertical, this goes up to a 79, and for that stamina, I wanted to be sure that all of my builds that I dropped to y'all, we're at least able to get at least a 90 and above. The way that I see it fit, people are choosing to go with speed over strength this year. It's pretty much been a trend throughout the past as well. And in my better interest, if I'm catering to my own playstyle, if I want to be a straight post scorer that can do a little bit of everything, do I not have the right to raise my strength to the max possible that I want? I mean, it's all preference if you want to go with a higher strength or speed this year. Truly, I think that if you're a good enough defensive player, the strength is always going to be the better attribute to raise. Now, if y'all enjoyed this kind of gameplay, definitely let me know down below. As for this build, you're going to be able to do everything, and that is really why I dropped this build as my main center this year. Now, if you want to go ahead and take it into Season 2 and so forth, I think this build is definitely going to be applicable down the year, and I promise y'all I'm going to look back on this video and show y'all just how overpowered this build actually was. Now, one of my favorite things about this build is going to be the defensive versatility. Now, from the gameplay, if you've seen already, not only are we able to guard on the inside, but coming out on the perimeter, I think this build is definitely a problem as well. Regardless of the height and speed, I have seen this build against smaller defenders, even some pretty good dribblers in my opinion. But I think this build is going to be one of the best centers that you can possibly make this year, regardless of which game mode that you're going to. Now, depending on your playstyle, you can really turn this build into a bully, especially with the badges that we're able to unlock. I think it really caters to the finishing side of things. Now, as for the shooting, if you do find yourself a good jump shot this year, I promise y'all, you're going to be able to be one of the main shooters on your team, especially if you take this build into the rec. It's really going to allow you to spread the floor. And if you're looking at things like playing the 1v1 game mode, I think this build is even better for that. Now, as far as for the defense, I'm telling y'all, you're going to be an all-around build, so nothing to worry on that end. And for the offense, you have so many different options to go with, from the post-scoring end to the playmaking. And then that post-scoring to wrap things up even better, I think it's going to be all the greater. Now, I actually do have a pretty nice jump shot for a big man. If you have a 70 and above 3 ball in between 80, let me know down below which jump shot have you been using this year, what has been working out. And as for this build, I'm telling y'all, there's no weaknesses in my opinion. Now, something that I want to know from all of y'all, which build did you make this year and at which height? Now, I did want to start the year out as center. I feel like it's a much safer build to go with. Normally, I would go with a guard or a mid-sized build. And even as the past, I do believe that centers are going to be one of the best builds to create starting the year. Now, for this build, my favorite game mode has definitely been the 1v1 court. Honestly, rec has been too, but when it comes to the ones, there's nothing that can compete with it. Now, I hope there is some type of tournament this year that will allow us to showcase our skills. And I have been hearing some things from the 2K community that actually may allow us to get a logo from competing in the logo gauntlet. Now, from the information that I have gathered, I have seen that there is possibly a 1v1 court. Same for the 3s and 2s, and even when it comes to the 5s, of course. Now, for this build, as you can see, we're pretty dominant all around the floor, especially once people start to jump on the defensive end down below. You're going to be able to be a bully and get those contact duns. Now, for all my bigs out there, what kind of big man did you create to start the year? Are you one that's going to be able to just be more one-dimensional? Or are you looking to be all around? Because if you want, I definitely got a video in store for y'all. Check out the link down below and you're going to see exactly what this build on screen is looking like. Now, in my opinion, not only are we going to be able to guard positions like guards, but the centers are not a problem because of our height and wingspan combined with our strength. Now, something that I do really like with a lot of builds this year is that 2K has actually given us the freedom to pick our takeovers, and that really changes how we can make them, because if you're looking to get a minor boost towards certain areas, I think it's definitely going to allow you to make a build exactly how you want. Now, because we're able to take up more space with this kind of build, I think we're actually able to be more effective on the defensive end when guarding smaller positions. Now look, if you want this jump shot, make sure you go ahead and drop a like, drop a comment. I really appreciate the Rich family always tuning in, showing love and showing y'all support. This is definitely one of the best big men that you can make this year. If you got the takeover and you got the jumper, you're going to be grinning out of this build today. Now, this build today, it's going to be reminding me of a few different NBA players. Shaquille O'Neal, WILT Chamberlain, and even a little bit of HAKEEM, OLAJUWON. Now, the badges are very specific. I made every single attribute and threshold to a minimum to be able to unlock certain badges, also animations. Even when it comes to our takeovers, that boost is really going to allow this build to be even better from what I have made it. Whoo! I'm telling y'all, man, this build is a real deal. If you want it, go ahead and check out that video. I'm going to be clamping them up top, down below. It does not matter. But I'm going to be sure that I'm not giving up any threes this game. I don't care about the inside. As long as I have the lead, I'm going to be winning. This is going to be the best build that you can possibly make for your center. If you want to go ahead and tell your friend to make it, go ahead and send him the link to the video down below. Show him this one. If he says it's not a good build, I'm telling y'all, the comments that I've been getting are crazy. As you can see, the perimeter defense is to a T. And if you want to, you can make adjustments, changes to your own liking. Now, I made this build exactly to be overpowered when people have that rim protecting takeover. I have gone up against taller centers, and even when they activate their takeover, it's not going to affect me in any way. This build has definitely become one of my favorites to use. Now, if you want to run rec, 2s, 3s, Even the 5s, let me know, drop your PSN or your gamer tag down below, and I'll be sure to add y'all. If you want to add me, you already see the name on the screen. And just like that, this is how you dominate with a 7-2 post scoring big man. Does not matter if you're going up against the best player in the world, this is the best post scorer. Now I really hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Now look, I just want to say thank you one last time to God King Jesus for another day and another opportunity. And if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Smash that like button. Turn on post notifications to be a part of the rich family. And last but definitely not least, comment down TG for thank God King Jesus and where you're tuning in from. And I most definitely will be sure to get back to y'all with the response. And with all that being said though, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.